Nobita pressed the life-swapping device on his teacher. Their identities swapped instantly. Now the teacher stood in for Nobita's punishment, while Nobita took the teacher's place and lectured on the podium. Sunio raised his hand and asked what they would learn that day. After thinking for a moment, Nobita announced that the whole day would be free time. John and Sunio were over the moon. Hearing the commotion inside, the teacher started to feel confused, but then he remembered that he was now Nobita. Surely the teacher had his reasons for punishing him, and so, Nobita led the classmates in having a blast in the classroom. Happy times always flew by fast. Before they knew it, it was time to leave school, but Nobita had completely forgotten that the teacher had been standing outside all day. He quickly took out the switch and restored everything to normal. The teacher was still as hot-tempered as ever, saying he'd let Nobita off the hook just this once, but warned him never to be late again starting tomorrow. Nobita shrugged it off, saying he'd definitely watch out next time. On his way home, Sunio was showing off his Harry Potter movie tickets everywhere, which Nobita happened to overhear from behind. Once Sunio walked into his yard, Nobita took out the gadget and swapped lives with him. Their identities switched right away. Then Sunio stumbled back to Nobita's house in a daze. As soon as he walked in, Mom called him over. It turned out that his zero-score test paper had been discovered. Sunio had thus become Nobita's scapegoat. He felt like this had nothing to do with him at all. Seeing that Sunio still showed no sign of repenting, Mom punished him by withholding his snack for the day. Meanwhile, the real Nobita was living it up. The snack for the day was actually a custom-made cake, so Nobita immediately started gobbling it down. He finished it off in no time. Just then, Cousin Ajay came over to ask Nobita to go to the movies. When they got to the garage, they saw an awesome sports car. But fate had other plans. John suddenly showed up and dragged Nobita off to play baseball. Did you forget we have an important game today? Nobita wasn't Sunio. How would he know about that? Looks like the movie would have to wait for another day. Soon enough, they went to Nobita's house and found Sunio. Only then did Sunio remember the baseball game. John saw how lazy he looked and raised his bat, ready to take out his frustration on him. Even Nobita, who was standing nearby, got caught in the crossfire. Being Sunio wasn't all that great, it seemed. Maybe being John would be better. And just like that, Nobita transformed himself into John. One roar was enough to scare the other two half to death. Then the three of them headed to the vacant lot together. As John, the captain of the baseball team, Nobita took on the role of pitcher, but his pitching skills were just as terrible as ever. Thanks to his repeated mistakes, the opposing team took a commanding lead with a score of 77-0. The other kids were absolutely furious. Even though he was supposed to be John, they were dying to beat him up, but there was no way they could take him on. Meanwhile, Nobita stood off to the side, completely unbothered. He snapped at everyone, asking if they had a problem with him, shouting insults as he ran away from the vacant lot. He didn't stop until he reached the bridge. Being John wasn't any fun either, it seemed. He had just pressed the reset button when he saw Shizuka walking towards him. Suddenly, he thought it might be nice to swap identities with her, so he flipped the switch on the gadget. Shizuka then walked straight to Nobita's house in a trance. Doraemon saw this and immediately knew what was going on, but at the same time, Nobita was in big trouble.